as a veteran, small business owner, what can we do for you?
What we can all do for all veteran business owners is promote each other.
My main mission was to look at tools and technology to leverage small business and give them more of a competitive advantage.
My mission for Veteran Bargains is very simple: to help vets.
That story in itself, to run for Vista City Council, is a journey.
I think this is an opportunity to really collaborate with those gone before us.
It's really kind of a labor of love.
And now your host.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us for this, your Veterans Radio Show. I hope that you're having a phenomenal day. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Laura Torres, your host for today. Our Veterans Radio Show will bring you live heroes who are making the action out in the community and making it happen for our veteran community through various support. We want to welcome our live audience on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and of course on Amazon Live and on LinkedIn through our YouTube segment channel. Of course, we always want to welcome your comments, your support, and your questions. So please post them because we'll love to highlight those towards the end and show our guests your support. Thank you so much for your subscribers, and continue to subscribe. Please make sure that you select that because your episodes and more episodes are brought to you thanks to the subscribers, so we can continue to grow and bring you the resources you need. On this segment, I want to real quick just make sure that I acknowledge our sponsor. This segment is brought to you thanks to the sponsorship and the generous support of Mace and Associates. So make sure that you support our sponsors and you visit their website to get more about their support for our veteran community. And then without further ado, I want to go straight in, welcome our guest, and tell you all about him, John Ballantyne, U.S. Army veteran, founder and CEO of Operation Phantom Support and Combat Boxes. So he's here with a very business-driven mindset to tell us all about his great support that he has out in the community. He's building and supporting better businesses with the goal and the passion for combat boxes, plus also supportive services to make sure that they have career readiness services, allowing in all the small businesses throughout the veteran community to get their products in hands of potential customers. So without further ado, let's welcome John Ballantyne into this show. Thank you so much for visiting, John, all the way from Texas. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Laura. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Thank you, John. And how's, by the way, your day-to-day, your weather? How are you transitioning through the summer? I know it's not a question that you normally ask through some of these segments, but I want to know.
Actually, we're in Texas. So, like yesterday was 98. Today it was like 97. So, I mean, we're still in that August is the hottest part of the year here for Texas. So it gets a little nuts, but we enjoy it. I mean, we all have pools, and there's pools, a lot of stuff to go do when it gets hot out, so it's okay. Doesn't get cold, we don't get snow, so nobody complains here, so we're good.
That's right. Good. So I'm glad that you are enjoying and having a phenomenal day, and with the rest of our audience throughout the U.S. So thank you for your visit and for your support. Now tell us and tell our audience about you, your military experience, your story. How did it all begin?
Well, honestly, it all began, my father was in the Navy, so I was a military dependent for 19 years. When I graduated high school, I wanted to kind of follow my father's footsteps, but I went out on a Tiger cruise when I was like 12, and I did not have a good time on the ship. So I decided I'll go in the military, but I'm going to keep my feet on the ground. So I went in the Army. So there's a little, semi sort of look I got from my father, but he was proud that I went in the military. And then I ended up doing 20 years in the Army. I did 6 deployments. I retired in 2010 and had a few different jobs when I first got out, and then I jumped into the nonprofit world and started my own nonprofit here outside of Fort Hood, Texas, and I've been doing that pretty much ever since.
Wow, that's incredible. And the fact that you've been in the military. Military is pretty much all you know, so your whole life. And so it's thank you for your service as a military kid as well, and so for supporting and transitioning through all the life experiences with the family and everything else. But so you mentioned you started a nonprofit right after multiple tryouts throughout your career. So how did that military experience perhaps help you launch your business, your nonprofit? How do you see that tied in?
Well, I tied it into, growing up in the military as a kid, watching my mother struggle and my dad being gone all the time, and then us moving all the time and doing all these things. I really wanted to do something kind of pay it forward to the guys and gals that are still serving and help their families so their life's a little easier, so they can go to work and not worry that their family doesn't have the things they need, and somebody's there to help take care of them if they need something comes up while they're not around. So that was a big thing for me. That's why I had a really good job paying me really good money on the outside, working for a hospital, doing a whole lot of good things for them. But I really had a passion that I wanted to keep paying it forward for the guys that are still serving after I got out and make sure that they know that there are people out there worried about their families and want to take care of them. So we started our nonprofit. So our nonprofit is called Operation Fam Support. It's based right outside the front gate of Fort Hood, Texas. We serve about 3,000 to 4,000 soldiers every month with our different programs. We have a food pantry. We have a free birthday cake program, Christmas toys, backpack for school, car repairs. So most of the stuff we focus on are things that happen to the soldier day-to-day life, like things that can impact their life day-to-day, not like take them to a baseball game or a football game. We're talking about helping them have enough food on the table for their family, having their kids have enough clothes, and their kids having book backpacks and school supplies for school. So that's kind of what we focus on, is just making sure we take care of those military families and make sure and the veteran families, make sure they're okay.
Well, that's incredible. Thank you. I mean, you're right. There's a lot of resources out there that are so needed as you are part of the transition, or even during active service. The military provides a great support, but sometimes it's still not enough, especially in certain communities that require multiple, dual incomes, or perhaps the military family has extra additional financial challenges. So I'm glad that your organization is there to support those needs. Now, as an early startup, though, because this is a veteran chamber focus, sort of segment, what early experiences do you face? What are challenges might you have faced during your early startup as a nonprofit, or just exploring the whole entrepreneur mindset?
The entrepreneur mindset, I guess, for the best way to explain it was, you have a great idea and you want to put that idea in motion, right? So you just dive right in. As a soldier, we're one of those kind of, we put our head down and we go until we get there, right? And I did that, and I was lucky, I got successful and got through it. But there was a lot of hard steps I had to get through about the legal side, the financial side, because I wasn't, I'm not a money guy. I don't worry about money. But when you get into a business, I don't care if it's a for-profit, nonprofit, because I run 4 other for-profit businesses to help raise money for my nonprofit. So it's kind of a strange bedfellow, kind of, so to speak. But I have different things. I have online businesses. I have businesses in town. I have Combat Boxes that supports veterans. We take their products and put them into a subscription box and then send it out to people who sign up to get boxes from us. So it's a really cool idea I had there. But I think all the challenges are always the things you really don't know that you find out because you get a letter in the mail from the governor or the state or somebody saying, hey, did you what? So you got to start calling people like, what do I got to do? How do I fix this? And luckily, most organizations, even in the state or whatever, are pretty lenient to say that we know you're starting a business and we know you're new, so they try to help you along the way. But it's been a really fun. I've had a lot of fun doing it. I've had some setbacks. Don't get me wrong. All business, we have a little punch in the face kind of reality check. But if you stick to it, you stick to what your mission set is and what you're trying to accomplish, and you focus on that, it helps you get through the hard times. And my wife tells me that all the time. She said, the only reason you get through all this stuff is because you're so focused on doing the things you need to do to help veterans and soldiers that it allows you to get past the frustration and you can drive past it. She goes, and my wife's amazing because she's been putting up with me for a long time. And I got business everywhere. So I don't spend a lot of time at home as much as I should right now. But like I told her, I'm trying to set us up for our future when our kids are finally gone and we're empty nesters and we can finally go do what we want to do. I want to make sure we can do that. So, but it's fun. I mean, I actually enjoy being an entrepreneur. I love coming up with ideas for businesses and helping other people with their business, getting them set up and helping. I do a lot of that, not to it. I do a lot of mentoring about building out a business platform and how a business plan works and where you need to tweak things so you can make sure you get financing. Because that was another thing. If you don't have the finances to start up a business, you got some work to do. You got the SBA loans, you got to find investors or do a Kickstarter kind of thing or whatever, depending on what you're doing. But you have to have some kind of financial backing to get things started because there is going to be cost to everything you do.
Exactly. And so, wow. So it looks like you have picked up quite a bit of experience. And by the way, I want to pause and send a greeting to your spouse and say thank you for her service and for supporting you, because you're doing incredible work out in the community. And it's a family affair, whether they're directly involved or just supporting you and just being there for you, to come and download your frustrations or your celebrations. It's a great backup.
Yeah, it's a need too. If your family's not 100% behind you, you're not gonna. I tell people that all the time. They get into this, whether you're married or got a partner, whatever your situation is. If they're not backing you 100%, you're probably not going to be successful because that you have to go home to that. Exactly. And if you had a tough day and then you got to go home to somebody who's not really supporting you, they're going to try to convince you to give it up. And so it's very important that your family or the people around you that you surround yourself with have the right mindset for you, so that they can help keep pushing you to keep doing better things. And I got lucky. My wife and family are big time supporters because we're all been together our whole lives like that, taking care of each other. So I got lucky there. And I think a lot of veteran families have that opportunity to use their family and their spouses and their family to get that done. So that would be my biggest thing to everybody is just you got to have a great home team to get it done. You got to have a great home team.
There you go. A great home team is essential in order for you to continue to move forward and do great missions like the ones you're doing. But I'm curious, and among all of our veteran community and all of our entrepreneurs that come here through our stage, what would you tell yourself, your younger self, that you know now that you did know perhaps when you were first starting, aside from the funding and all the hard work that you have already learned that it takes?
I think honestly, it would have been pay more attention in the because what I've learned when I got out of the Army, because in the military, if you serve your country, you have a rank, there's structure. When I walked into a room as a senior NCO, people went to parade rest and people just automatically respected you because of the rank you held. In the civilian sector, it's not like that. You have to come in the room and already have something predominantly done that's giving you face value in that group before you get any respect. So I've learned the most important thing for me in hindsight is learning to build relationships with people that maybe aren't that important in your life right now, but could be later. Like when I was in the Army here at Fort Hood, I went out to a lot of mixers and briefings and wearing my uniform because they wanted us to be there to help, show community support. But I didn't take advantage of that by meeting people, introducing myself the right way, and da-da-da. And then when I got in the civilian side and I was doing that, they're like, well, why didn't you just do that back when you were? I'm like, because I was a soldier and I wasn't thinking like that. I was doing what I was told to do. You know what I mean? Blah, blah. So I really think that, and I tell people this all the time, every veteran that comes to me for advice, I said, the biggest thing is it's relationships. Everything you got to base your life on now in business is about relationships, and don't burn bridges. It's always about relationships and not necessarily keeping people happy, but being honest with people, being upfront and straightforward to get what you got to get done. But building relationships is absolutely the most important thing I've learned, especially in the nonprofit sector. It's all about relationships in the nonprofit. Now, business section, you can get away with it based on what you do and whatever your lane is. But relationships are definitely a thing I should have learned differently years ago and paid more attention to it before I got out. Because I should have asked those questions to people that are already out in the sector, that are civilians, or even that were veterans that I met those days, and I just didn't take advantage of it. And that's the one thing I regret not doing. So that's the one thing I would say, back up and redo that, because that would have fixed me up when I got out. It would have been a lot easier when I got out.
There you go. Perfect. Thank you. Definitely building relationships it's a great, you just said it. That's just key in order for you to succeed. And it's hard sometimes for military service members to do that.
It is because, like I said, I had my chain of command come in, hey, Sergeant Valentine, we need you to go to this mixer out and clean, and just be out there because we got to show support. I'm like, roger that, Sergeant Major. I would go and I would be there. I'd eat the food or whatever. But I didn't really engage like I should have to take advantage of that opportunity that the Sergeant Major gave me when I was out there. And I tell soldiers that all the time now they come in. If you go to a mixer, go to the mixers, introduce yourself, get people to know what your plans are when you get out, so they can help guide you to where you need to go, because that's the relationship start that's going to build your business later on.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that advice. Yep. And by the way, I'm going to take a pause right now to let our audience know that we're talking to John Valentine. Valentine, all the way to Texas, a U.S. Army veteran, founder and CEO of Operation Fathom Support, as well as Combat Baxes. So make sure that you reach out to his multiple entrepreneur lifestyle and build a relationship with him so that you can continue to thrive, but also support his cause all the way over there in Texas, right outside of, you said, Sam Houston? Fort Hood, correct. Yep. Fort Hood, correct. Yep. And so he's supporting military families, veterans, and service members really get the local resources that they need in order for them to thrive in the local community. So thank you for that. Also, this segment is brought to you thanks to the support of Mice and Associates. Thank you so much, Mice and Associates, for their support and for sponsoring this segments all month long. And I see, talking about relationships, John, I see our CEO and founder is here. So I'm going to bring him up so that he can actually greet you. And then as soon as we're done here with him, then we'll continue on with our questions. Yes.
Sure.
Well,
Hi, Joe. How you doing?
Doing good.
Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much. And it's a great, I've been listening to what you guys were talking about. And I think, honestly, what are you doing is so great, because you're right. It's a lot of services out there, including us, that we focus sometimes in other things. But I'm glad you're taking care of our soldiers and focusing what is priority, what is really needed. And so anything that we can collaborate with you, let us know.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, because it's all, like I said, It's all about building relationships and building partnerships so we can help each other out. So,
Absolutely.
I afford the same thing to you guys. Anything I can do to help promote what we're doing for you guys, I would love to be able to do that too. So, yeah.
Well, we're like Laura is, and we know that we really take those offers seriously.
Yes.
So we'll be in touch and see how we can work together. We're a nationwide organization, so Texas or anywhere that you want to spread the word, happy to support.
Yeah, I got 100,000 followers on social media that I can reach. They're all mostly veterans in both that veteran community. So we can definitely reach out and touch base with that for sure.
Excellent. Well, I just wanted to say hi and thank you for participating and being our guest on our show. And thank you, Laura, for allowing me to say a few words. And Laura says that I speak too much, so I'm gonna just let Laura continue with the show, and then we'll talk later.
Absolutely, but stay here, not a problem. John, I do have a question though from one of our audience who wants to know from you about, is there a particular skill that the military taught you, to help you with this nonprofit world? And I think you answered it a little bit, but perhaps maybe anything in particular that you picked up that you can think of back.
I think the biggest thing, and I tell almost everybody, is just the leadership aspect of the military, learning how to deal with problems and finding solutions. I think that was one of my biggest issues, because when you get into a private sector business and you got to fix problems, it's different than in the military fixing a problem. It's a little different, but you still have the same mindset. Like when a problem comes to me with an employee, for instance, or something, you can't attack it like you did as a soldier, right? You have to step back and go, okay, what did my Army training teach me to do? It taught me to look at evaluate the leader, evaluate the situation, give both sides an opportunity to talk, figure out what the best solution is for both sides and the business, and then so there were things there that helped. But yes, my military training, I think mostly it was being a medic and dealing with I hate to say customer service, but when you deal with patients, it's like a customer, right? So you're trying to fix them, help them out with their problem. Same kind of thing you got to do on the outside. So I think the biggest thing for me with a nonprofit, going from military to nonprofit, was just the ability that I had to lead people and motivate people to do the things I needed them to do. It helped me turn this nonprofit. We've been around for 8 years now. And most
congratulations.
Most military veteran-based nonprofits don't make it 5 years. And we've made it 8 now. So we're doing something right. And like I tell my staff and I tell my volunteers all the time, and we can't do this without you guys. I mean, I need you 100%. So just keep believing and keep talking to me. Let me know. And I kind of have still, like our military, I have an open door policy. If you got a suggestion, come in my office and talk to me about it, because anything can help me. I want to hear it so I can use it or try to figure out what we're doing. So that would be my biggest thing. And I appreciate the question. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely. That's phenomenal. And I do want to, that I'm interested to know, how can we support you? So, this is all community hub of resources. And so how can all community or audience that will watch this or will watch this, the replay, how can they all support you and get a hold of you?
Well, they can reach out to me via our website. They can just hit the contact us either at veteranscombatboxes.com or phantomsupport.org. They can reach out that way. To help the nonprofit, they can always make donations or support us by publicizing you support us on your Facebook page. Have people help donate, because we, as a nonprofit, you're always about trying to bring money in and keep doing what you're doing. The for-profit combat, we haven't really talked about Combat Boxes that much, but what Combat Boxes is I started a business that's a subscription box service. But I only carry veteran-owned products. So I have veteran-owned business owners that have product, like say, for instance, coffee or beef jerky or something, and they sign up to be a vendor with me. I buy their items at cost, and then I put them in these different boxes and ship them out to all these people who get subscription boxes from me. And they know every box they get has got veteran-owned businesses product in the box, which is pretty awesome, because then they're supporting not only my veteran business, but all of their veteran businesses too, because everybody's product is in a box, has been purchased. Plus, it gives you insight. They get coupons in there to buy stuff the first time they go to websites. So it's a way for me to help my fellow veteran business owners get their product out in the hands of some people and hopefully get some sales. And that's what we try to do with that. So,
and so what kind of veteran products are you, how can they get a hold of you? And is any product, or do you have any specific sort of a cutoff for a specific industry or product that you will not, perhaps is not feasible through your Combat Boxes?
Well, the only thing we can't technically put on our boxes are like alcohol. We don't do, and we don't do things that would be considered inappropriate for people. For instance, like any items that are not necessarily home style kind of items. But we carry pretty much, and there's a vetting process. If you go to our Combat Boxes website, you can sign up right there to become a vendor. You fill out some information, then we reach out to you and talk to you about how it works so you understand it completely before you really decide to sign up. And then we talk about your products and what the cost value versus the sale value and all that stuff, so we can make sure we're working out so you don't lose any money going on with us, but you're going to hopefully make money, because when we get your product out there, there's a potential for people to buy more product from you. So that's what we're trying to push. So info@combatboxes.com is the email address. You can shoot me an email there. You can go to the website and just hit the contact us too, and it'll reach out to me directly. And I get all the emails, so we track, and we're relatively quick in responses. I mean, I'm usually the same day you'll get a response, because that business is very important to me, because it's really support. I got 35 vendors right now, so I have 35 veteran businesses that send me product every month that I put in these different boxes that I send to my subscribers. And anybody can subscribe. Anybody can line on. Don't have to be military. You can just log on and buy a box to support veterans. You don't have to be a veteran per se, but you can sign up for a box, and then every month when you get it, you get a different box. There's T-shirts in there, hats. There's beef jerky, coffee cups, shot glasses, beer cups, all kind of crazy fun things that these veterans build and make in their own company. Stickers, all kind of stuff that I have vendors in there that do a whole bunch of fun things. So the boxes are kind of like a surprise box every month. You open it up, you get to see all these different things and all this information about the companies. That way you can go visit the page, their web pages, and see if you'd like to buy some stuff that they have, other stuff that they have. So that's what's fun about it.
That's incredible. That's great support. Definitely. Thank you. Now, I do have a 3-part question as we get closer to our time to wrap up. Right. So what's next for John Valentine? Since you have launched multiple nonprofits as well as other ventures, what's next for you?
Actually, right now, I'm in the midst of opening up a franchise business, because my nonprofit just started a program called Veterans to Employment, where we help veterans get jobs, but we also help them open up their own franchises. No cost out of pocket for the veteran. They basically just got to work for that franchise for a couple of years as a general manager of it, show us that they can do it. And then once we pay off all the money that we invested in it, we sign 60% of the company over to them and they own it. So there's a lot of value, but I'm opening up an axe throwing venue called Axe Monkey. I'm getting ready to open it here in Killeen, where it's a family fun event where you get to come and throw axes at targets and have a good time and bring your family and just get out of the house. We also have a rage room where you come in there and just break stuff or smash it. I got a car rage room where you come in there and beat a car with a sledgehammer to just take all that frustration you have out of the day. You don't have to go home with it now. You can get it out. So we're looking forward to the success of that, but that's, my wheels never stop turning. So, they never stop turning.
I'm inspired. By the way. Incredible. Yeah. Lots of adventures that you have definitely going on. Great projects. Now, how about Operation Phantom? What's next for Operation Phantom?
Right now, we're building out our program. So the biggest support for us is go to our Facebook page and like us and follow us. And then if you want to make a donation, because that's always, 95% of my job is to help raise money for the organization. 5% of my job is leading it and running it up, but 95% of it is trying to raise money for it to keep our doors open. And with COVID, we took a pretty big hit because a lot of spouses lost their jobs, so they stopped making their monthly donation because they needed to save their money. And we all understand that, but we took a big hit. And we've been on the CBS National News. We've been on the local news all the time. Matter of fact, I've been on the news the last 3 days in a row here in Killeen, in the local news here in Central Texas, because they've been just doing different stories about veterans and stuff going on in Afghanistan, stuff going on, wherever. And then they come talk to me about the charity too, what we're doing, so they can let the public know we're still pushing along, doing the best we can to help all these soldiers. Because Fort Hood's got 38,000 soldiers on it, right? And Central Texas has about 100,000 veterans that live within a 25-mile radius of Fort Hood. So you're talking about 140,000 soldiers and veterans that live within a 25-mile radius of each other. Like every third car here when you drive around has a disabled veteran plate on it, because most of us are all veterans that live here. So it's a really unique community that we live in here, because it's either active duty soldier or you're a veteran for the most part. It's crazy around here. So it's really fun to live here. That's why my family decided to stay here, because it was just a wonderful community to live in that takes care of each other and looks out for each other, and it's really great. So yeah,
absolutely. And almost every I would say every 2 or 3 out of 5 service members who are retiring here in the California area, they're all going back to Texas. So definitely, I can agree with you. That's a phenomenal community to support and to retire. So
plus Texas has really great stuff for veterans. I mean, Texas is that's why I'm from Illinois. I was born in Chicago. And when I retired, I thought, okay, but my wife's from Texas. So I said, okay, we're staying in Texas. I thought we were going to San Antonio, but then she's like, no, we're staying here. The kids are doing good in school. I said, all right, fine. But Texas is amazing for veterans. You get all kind of breaks, tax breaks on your house, property taxes, all kind of stuff here. So yeah, I'm never leaving Texas. I love it here.
Great. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for enlightening us today with all of your great adventures, ventures into entrepreneurship, as well as all of your multiple facets as an entrepreneur in the nonprofit world. And we look forward to catching up with you in the near future and see where you're at and any other adventure that you might have that will provide and support for our military veteran community. Definitely would love to hear an update and stay connected with you to continue to collaborate. And those of you who are watching, definitely go online and support Military Boxes, so that we can continue also to help and support John and the small business owners that are tied into the military community. Anything else, John, that you want to share with our community as we get ready to close?
The only last thing I'd like to say is I also run a podcast. It's called Veterans Be Real. We talk about veterans transitioning out of the military into the civil sector. And right now we're talking about entrepreneur veterans who started their business. So we do have some of that. It's just called veteransbereal.com. It's just an opportunity to listen to some veterans that might, if you're in the military right now or just got out and you're looking to start a business, right now I'm talking to a lot of veterans who've built businesses and all the hardships they went through. You get a whole bunch of different variety. I mean, some of the variety I got was crazy, like some of the things they've gone through. So it's really fun. So yeah, but other than that, I love to support you guys and anything I do here. So just please let me know what I can do to help you.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that as well. And we look forward to, again, staying connected and exploring, getting an update and see how we can best collaborate in the near future. So thank you so much for visiting today, John. Have a great day. And for those of you who are watching, thank you so much for joining and supporting. Please continue to watch. Make sure that you subscribe and that you share with your networks, because that's how we all be able to grow and continue to bring the resources for our military community. Thank you for watching.